For more on how this potential strike could impact retail, the holiday season, the overall economy, let's bring in former president and CEO at Walmart U.S., Bill Simon. Bill, great to have you back. What normally happens at this time of year from a retailer standpoint in terms of bringing holiday inventory in? And what is happening this year, given all the issues that the sector has faced?
Well, good to be with you this afternoon. It is an interesting story. Normally, in a normal year, not sure when the last normal year was, probably 2019 at this point, the product has already flowed. It's arrived at port. It's been transported by rail and then by truck to the distribution centers for further distribution into the stores. So in a normal year, this would be a disruption, but it wouldn't be a disruption to particularly to the holiday sales. This year is anything but normal. We've had backups at the ports. We've had backups in Asia. We've had backups at the U.S. ports. We've had trucking delays. We finally just started unwinding that to the point where product was flowing, to the earlier guest comment, to the point where inventories had gotten high in stores because it had flowed faster than they had anticipated. And now this would just be a disastrous blow to retail. Uncertain still whether it would affect the holiday selling season, likely somewhat affected, but more so the transition from holiday into the next selling season would be interrupted in a dramatic way.
If you were still the head of Walmart U.S., Bill, I'm wondering how you would think about the situation in terms of what you would be doing right now, in terms of what you would anticipate when it comes to bringing goods in, and whether or not this would cause shortages come holiday season.
Well, at this point, moving goods it's probably too late. Anything that I had in the warehouse that I could get to the store by over the road would certainly be moving, but that's really not what the issue is. It's when these big container ships land in ports like Long Beach, they need to be offloaded to rail so they can be moved halfway across the country efficiently, and then put on a truck and moved into the distribution system. There's really no way that you're going to be able to replace this rail freight with trucks or air freight. It's just not possible. So we're going to see massive backlogs, first at our ports, and then secondly backing up to the ports in Asia and in other markets that are exporting. The thing I'd be doing if I were in place right now is be pounding on the table in front of the government that there's got to be some intervention. And the comments from the labor secretary, boy, everybody has to give a little bit. That's not really very helpful. They really need to sit down and not leave the room until a deal's done. That's the kind of intervention that we need.
It's Karen. Let me ask you something. I don't know if you were in a situation like this, but when you see this kind of potential impasse looming, how do you prepare for this when you really don't know what the outcome will be, but you know the downside of a strike is really going to be terrible for your business?
Yeah, you've got to move goods as best you can while you can. And so if there's anything in the port, get it on a train, get it moving so that you can get it into your distribution system. Push as many goods as you can into the store, even if they're going to be crowded. And then you got to try to hold your prices as long as you can, because there's going to be, if this strike lasts any time at all, there's going to be massive inflationary pressures, because there's already a limited supply of over-the-road trucks to haul goods. And if you try to move it from the ports by truck, it's just going to drive the freight costs even higher. So try to hold your prices, try to push product as far forward in the supply chain as you can right now, and then really start pounding the table for some kind of an answer.
When you say, Bill, if the strike lasts any period of time, do you really mean that? I mean, if it's a day, will it really have consequential impacts?
I think it's already starting to slow things down. As heard earlier, you can't ship products that need attention, chemicals, dangerous chemicals, petroleum, fuels, and not know that and think that they might end up stuck on a rail line somewhere in the middle of the Rocky Mountains. So product's already starting to slow down. If it lasts a day or two, I think we probably kind of don't recover pretty quickly. If it lasts a week or two, it's going to be really, really damaging, really significant inflationary pressures, I would think.
Bill, always great to get your take. Thanks for joining us. Bill
You bet.
Simon. I do want to make a correction. We got those comments from the Secretary of Transportation, Pete Buttigieg, not the Secretary of Labor, Marty Walsh. So Pete Buttigieg, same message, though, and that is he's saying both sides have got to give a little. That doesn't really augur well for the resolution of this dispute. It is shocking to hear Bonawyn, Bill Simon say if it lasts a week, it's going to be really terrible for the economy.
Well, he said that, and he also mentioned that there's already some fall through from what we already have. And as you said, like those products that need an essential level of detail or logistics or security, things of that nature, I mean, really make this more complicated. Adding fuel to the fire is a lack of slack capacity within trucking. It's not just about pricing, and he mentioned that, and no argument there. But even if you could pay the price, the capacity isn't there. So what's the substitute? I mean, there's no way around inflation, at least in the short term, if this is not nipped in the bud, which I would assume that it is in a relatively short period of time.
You know, I was checking today, Jeff, on retail, and there seemed to be very little reaction to this. And I'm wondering if you think there is some danger there to this trade in particular.
Well, I think that there has to be, especially given Bill's comments and just understanding how this situation could evolve. But the problem is we don't know how quickly it's going to be solved, and we don't know what the ultimate impact is going to be on some of these retailers and their ability to meet demand come the holiday season. I'm sort of thinking as we were talking about this, and this might be totally off base, but I'm wondering if certain retailers are actually better positioned than others. We obviously have this high inventory problem, so does that serve as some sort of a cushion come holiday season where they can work some of that off, meet some of the demand, or is there just a complete inventory mismatch in terms of the product they would be receiving for the holiday season? Trying to think through whether that would be helpful for certain companies over others. But I still think about positioning somewhat defensively more generally in retail. So thinking about companies like a Walmart or a Dollar General, or then going up market and looking at Nike and Lulu. I think just trying to think broadly and putting this to the side, that's still where I would want to focus my energy.
I mean, maybe some people want lawn furniture for
That's
Christmas,
exactly
Karen.
what I was thinking, right? Here's a chance for them to get rid of the patio furniture that was such a problem. I don't know if they just dumped it during this last quarter, but maybe they do have the inventory. And then what happens when ultimately those goods are freed up and you get the rest of the goods?
Right,
and
when
you're
do you
right
get
back
it?
at it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, Christmas sweaters and,
Right.
So I don't know. It's
Christmas in
potentially
July.
In July, okay. This is, they've got to solve this issue. It's so bad for the administration.
Yeah, I'll just say this about Walmart. I mean, because we're talking about Walmart. I mean, like, think about the couple gaps that this stock has had. You know, they had that pre-announcement, the stock gap down like 10%, filled in the whole gap. Then it rallied back, and then they, they had the better than expected numbers because they beat the pre-announcement, and then it filled in that entire gap. And I think investors are really uncertain in this space right now, even in a name like Walmart, who probably is best equipped to deal with all of these pressures.